Here we are, back at the Coleman mini bike. It's starting to warm up around here. I'll tell you what, at my age, I just don't appreciate the cold at all. Gets down to 40 or below. I'd rather just stay in the house, drink coffee, and write a book. Now, I had welded some bolts up here through the holes in this plate. The problem is, using those bolts, it doesn't go back all the way, which I need it to do. I need it to go back this way as far as it will. So I got bolts in the back end. Now the holes up on the front of this thing weren't slotted, so they would only go back as far as the slots in the engine mounting plate. And they weren't far enough. So I got 2 bolts in the back. I'm going to put the motor on here and line it up. Then, just to hold it while I get everything lined and straightened, because this plate moves around a little bit, I just want to make sure it's 100% straight. I'll put a couple of tack welds on it here, take the engine back off, and then I'm going to weld this plate down on the front. And of course, I'll weld it in such a way, anybody knows about welding frames and such, you don't weld across a tube unless you have to. Right? A plate, an I-beam. There's cases where you got no choice, but when you're talking trucks and vehicles, a linear weld across here is 2 things. It's not likely to crack, like if you put a weld across here. The second thing, and it's easy to get to, grind it out, if I ever want to change this in the future. So I'll get this lined up, get it tacked. I'll pull the engine back out. Now I'll weld this solid, tighten up the bolts back here, and I'll have room for my starter control box. And that's really what caused the whole thing. You can see the starter control box here was hidden on the frame. So I got the engine sitting back in there. I put a couple bolts on it. And over here, you can see how tight it is to that frame. And I have it to where it just barely squeaks by there. You can see just a little bit of daylight between the frame and that box. But that's good enough. And right now, it's sitting right about where it needs to be. And also, I can't go too much further forward. The starter will hit the frame. So I'm going to do some work to this, and I'll get another video going.